When you think you have failed. Romans 8:28. When you think you have failed. And we know that all that happens to us is working for our good if we love God and are fitting into His plans. Listen to Him. I've had several situations where I listen to Him, but it doesn't make any earthly sense. I once created a television show that never aired. I'm a realtor, and I felt the Lord telling me to create a television show when I didn't have any resources. I remember making the decision to declare it. I started talking about my television show. I would tell people the name of the show is Real Estate is for Everyone. While I was declaring it, I ran into a man that was the program director for a local television station. I knew that, but actually had completely forgotten what he did for a living. He told me to create it and he would air it. I couldn't believe that my show was happening before my very eyes. I placed a small classified to see if someone could produce it for me, and a lovely couple responded that were willing to produce it and would allow me to make weekly payments of $40 until the $400 for the production and editing was paid. When they recorded me, they did the entire thing in one take. A half-hour show that was my masterpiece. They told me that I was naturally and truthfully, I felt the Lord's guidance with me every step of the way. I hurried and ran it to the station and waited and never heard anything back. I thought maybe I did something or said something wrong. I was very hurt and saddened, especially because I knew the people at the station intimately and truly was disappointed. Since I believe in Romans 8:28, I decided that the Lord wants me to go global and not local. I started writing to several stations and sending my DVD television show wherever I found a mailing address. Over time, it ended in a weatherman's desk, and he gave it to the cameraman. The cameraman ended up years later getting a job in my hometown, and we became friends. He tried to get my show going. He created a couple of videos of properties for me. Over the years, he would visit, we would get together, and then when he moved here, I helped him find a small apartment he got settled in and set up. When my company was looking to place an advertisement on television, I told him about my friend. Of course, he created the advertisement that got in the hands of his boss for review, and his boss flew down to view the property. I had a car rented because I didn't feel I could pick this executive up with my 1994 Ford Taurus in 2011. Due to a glitch in communication, he called me suddenly and told me he was ready. Although I had rented a car, I didn't have time to pick him up. I called my son because at least he had the 2006 Toyota that was a lot better, and he heard me crying. He said, "Mom, relax, and go get him. I'm too far to bring your car." I thought, what am I going to say? Am I going to say that my car's in the shop? Instead, I picked him up and told him he would feel like he was in high school again. As much as I was trying to laugh it off, it completely cut off 3 times within a 15-minute car ride. I was dying of embarrassment when I got to the property. I called my son and told him he had to trade cars out immediately. He changed the cars so now this man could see my good car was a 2006 Corolla. I took him to his accountant, the bank, and our office to sign the contract all in the same day. The next day on the way to the airport, he told me that he never bought anything that expensive that didn't really make sense. Then he said, "Well, my accountant told me it would help me on my taxes. I thought it might help you out a little bit." I was in shock, and I thought, I didn't hear him right. The moral of the story is that the television show that I thought was a failure was actually a seed that was planted that blossomed into the largest sale of my life. The sale was a bonus because my friendship with the cameraman is the real blessing.